Welcome to KNX Tutorial 6, Programming of Staircase Lighting. So in this example, I'm assuming 3-story plus basement building, and I have 3 different circuits for the staircase lighting, which is from basement to ground floor staircase, and then from the ground floor to first floor staircase, and from the first floor to second floor staircase. I'm assuming that I have 4 different PIRs on each floor. So on the basement I have 1 PIR just when you are entering to the staircase, and then on the ground floor I have 1 PIR, on the first floor I have 1 PIR, and on the second floor I have 1 PIR. So let's suppose someone from the ground floor, from the building of the ground floor, wanna get entered to the ground floor staircase. Now there is 2 possibility. That person either can go to the first floor or either going to the basement. So what ideally we want is to turn on both staircase, the basement staircase light and the first floor staircase light, but we are not turning on the second floor staircase light. And the second floor, obviously you want to turn on the first floor you want to do the same thing. On the first floor, when someone get into the first floor staircase, you want to turn on either the first ground to first floor staircase and first to second floor staircase, both together. But on the second floor you just want to turn on the first floor to the first floor to second floor staircase light, because he can only go to the first floor. And then when he reach down to the first floor, you want to turn on the ground floor as well, because he probably goes straight down to the ground floor, or maybe, and so on like that. So what I'm using here is I'm using KNX switch actuator, ABB switch actuator, 8-channel switch actuator. Doesn't matter because I need only 3 channels of it. So, but I'm using this one, and I'm using ABB PIR. This is 6131-2500 ABB PIR. Okay, let's go to the ETS programming. Okay, so I'll already create the structure. So we have I'm assuming that I have the KNX cable in the basement, somewhere in the basement, and I have 1 switch actuator in the basement. Let's create the group addresses. Let's go in here. So let me delete these. So let's create the group addresses. Split vertical, and here. So I need let's route down. So I have I need 3 group addresses. So we have 3 set up. One more. So this one is basement to ground staircase on, off, and then status. Ground to first floor, ground to first staircase on, off, here ground to first floor on, off status. This is first to second staircase on, off, and then on, off status. Okay, so it's exactly same like we do for the normal lighting. So this is exactly same. I create switch object. Let's link this one. Channel 1 is for the basement, and status is for the status for the basement, and then B is for the ground to first, and then there C is second to okay. So we create the links to the switch actuator. Now let's add the PIR. So I have a PIR at the basement. Let's add that PIR. What is that? 6131. So this is the one, presence detector mini 613120. So we need to create this for the ground. This is for the basement, and I'm going to create copy of this one too. Then I need to create one in the first floor, one in the ground floor, and one in the second floor. And I'm starting programming from the basement. So let's select this one, basement PIR. Okay, so if someone from the basement is coming into the stair, so then we need to turn on from the basement to the first floor, basement to the ground staircase lights. So we don't need, like, there is no other way. So he can go only to the ground floor and then first floor and then that. So it is, so the straight away when this PIR detect anything, PIR at the basement, when there is any movement at the basement, straight away the light will turn on the basement to the ground staircase light. But to make it more efficient, we want to set now the brightness threshold is 400 lux. Now if it's a bright, ideally this will be very dark, like basement to ground, the staircase will be always dark. But let's suppose we have some windows there or something which is making it quite bright at the daytime. So at that time we don't want to turn on the lights, but we need to know whether it's bright enough or not. So for that purposes, brightness threshold, that should be 400. So we by default it's 400. If you want to change it to 600, you can do 600, 1000, whatever you want. It's dependent. Or you want to disable this, you can disable this from the brightness detection. So you can do inactive, and this, then it will not work. The brightness will stop work, detection will stop work. And this sensor is master sensor, so we want it to be as a master sensor. And I need a slave input. Let's leave this one for the time being. Let's connect this one normally, and then I will come to the slave input as well. So the output, let's go to the group addresses. So if the basement PIR detect any movement, it will straight away turn on the basement to ground stair light. That's done. So whenever there is any movement at the basement, that will turn on the basement to ground staircase light. Now let's go to the ground floor. This is, I need to change the names, or I'm gonna write down the numbers here, because ETS is 1, ground will be, I just want to create the structure to look a bit nicer. First is, so the first is 3, and the second is 4. Okay, now let's go to the ground floor. So if there is any, the same thing, one thing more I probably need. So the light on time is 5 minutes, so I'm not changing it. On the staircase you might want a 2 minute, but you can change it here, like how long do you want the light to stay on. So exactly here from the ground floor, I'm not changing anything. 400 lux. If it's bright day and the lux level is more than 400, the PIR will not turn on and off the lights. But if it's below than 400, then it will turn on the lights. Now, on the ground floor, when there is any movement on the ground floor, I want the lights. I want this light to turn on the ground floor light. That's ground to first floor light. So that's I'm doing that one exactly output here. So when someone enter to the ground floor staircase, then from this object, this P1 output, it will straight away turn on the ground floor to first floor light. Now here is a tricky thing. I want to turn on, at the same time I want to turn on the basement to ground staircase light as well. So how I'm going to do that, there is, now we going to the master slave concept. So I'll make the basement PIR as a master, and the ground floor PIR will become the slave of the basement as well. But okay, let's look into the basement PIR. So if I look here, this presence 2 is inactive at the moment, and I don't need to activate that for the basement. So if you go to the parameter, presence 1 parameter, so input slab. So do you want a slab input? Yes, because I'm making the ground floor PIR as a slab of the basement PIR. So when there is a movement on the ground floor PIR itself will turn on the ground to first floor staircase light, and then as it's a slab to the basement, so then it will send a trigger to the basement as well as say, oh, I got some movement here. Then the basement will decide whether he wanted the lights to be on or off. So let's so from the basement I need slab input as well. So I'll write down here basement PIR slab masters master slash slab, or you can write slab input slab input. So when I say input slab enable, so this one is, so I have another object u1 input, so I will link this one here. Now what I need to do is to create a slab and here for the ground floor. So let's go to the ground floor. Now in the parameters, if I go there, let's hide this one here. Now I can't change this one to the slab mode. Here I can't change it to the slab mode because this is already master, and this presence 1 is actually controlling the ground floor to first floor staircase light. Now for the basement, we have in this PIR we have we can do like two different operations at the same time. So presence 2, I will activate this one as well as a sensor, but in here this is not master, this is going to be as a slab. So I'll make this as a slab, and it will send after 30 seconds straight away what the status, whether he is detecting movement or not. So then the P2, if you look here, P2 output, I will link this with the basement PIR slab. Okay, so up till this point we have done the ground floor PIR and the basement to ground floor staircase light, and then ground to first floor staircase light. So we are turning on the ground floor to first staircase light. Now in the first floor, now let's go to the first floor. The same thing on the first floor, when there is any movement, I want this to turn on the first to the second floor staircase light, which is here. That's done. Now if somebody walk into the staircase on the first floor, then this will straight away turn on the first to second floor staircase light in between them, but we want the ground to first floor staircase light to turn on as well. So for that I will need to create a slab object, which will be ground PIR slab input. And this the first floor PIR. I'm going to change this, the second presence of this one, like presence of this one. I'll activate this one to a sensor, and I will make this as a slab, and then the slab output will link to the ground floor. Now when somebody walk into the first floor staircase, this PIR will turn on both the first floor, the ground to first floor light, and the first to second floor light. Now what about the second floor? Second floor, you can't control one light with the two master PIR, so you have to do it through the slab. So what I do, I don't need any master on the second floor. I just need sending signal to the first floor of the PIR. So I will change this, the first one to the slab, and then exactly, okay, one thing I missed here. The first floor is for the first floor now, because you need to send a signal from the second floor, you need to send a signal to the ground floor PIR to tell the ground floor PIR that there is a movement on the second floor. So how you're gonna do that is through the master and slave. So you're gonna make the second floor PIR as a slave of the first floor PIR. So ground, no, not ground, this is first PIR slab input. So here first thing you need to enable, on the first floor you need to enable the slab input, which is input slab. I will enable this one, yes, and then the input I will link this one. P1 slab input is coming in here. Let me have a look. Did I enable? No, I haven't enabled this on the ground floor, so you need to enable this on the ground floor as well, slab input. So here it will get the input. So ground floor is the ground floor slab input. So the slab, this is first floor slab input, and on the second floor this is master slab, so movement slab. So it is slab, so the slab is straight away linked with the first floor PIR input, first to second floor staircase. So when there is a movement on the second floor through the slab, that PIR, this PIR will send a trigger on or off to this group object 0/0/15, which is slab input for first floor PIR. So on the first floor PIR, that will know automatically that there is a movement on the second floor, and then it will decide whether to turn on the light or not, because there is another check, which is brightness value. So if the brightness is low, then they will turn on the first floor PIR will turn on the light, and if it's not low, then it will not. So that's how we will program the staircase lighting. Hope it's easy to understand. I tried to explain it as better as I could, but it still seemed to be little confusing. But it will come up with the experience. So when you guys start programming the PIRs, so you should be able to see what's going on. The same concept you can use for the corridors, like long corridors. When there is a long corridors and you have like 3, 4, 5 PIRs in there, so you can use it as a master slave. Thanks for watching, and please let me know if you got any question or you don't understand anything at all.